What to do if your metabolism is shot to bits. And by shot to bits, I mean it is not responding in the way it should do. I.e., when you are in a deficit, you should be burning body fat and dropping scale weight, but that is really not happening. So I'm going to talk you through a Gorilla Team member who we actually managed to fix this with, the solution we did, and then ultimately getting him to the point where he started to see a pretty lean, prominent six-pack and actually develop some muscle as well. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergey. I'm with the Gorilla Platoon. This is an online physique transformation program where we'll get results like this each and every week, and then we'll tell you how we did it online so you can apply it to your own training, to your own development, just like the members who watch the channel and leave good comments on the progress I'm making. If that's you and I've helped you, feel free to drop comments in there. It's always nice to hear it. Or feel free to message me on Instagram and you can tell me them as well. So let's get into it. We're going to discuss how did it get like this in the first place, what the problem with this is and why it's an issue, the advice that you don't want to hear, more from a mindset and setup point, and then what we actually did to fix it, so what you came here for. So let's start off with, how did it get like this? How did your metabolism get to the point where it just didn't respond? Because no one came out of the womb with an unresponsive metabolism. You have done something which has ultimately put it in the bin. And it normally comes in two forms. The first form is you understand you have high body fat. So you've got a bit of a gut and we realize we need to do something about it because we're not happy with this. Now, what a lot of people will do is when they start fat loss, they'll think, well, if I just turn the oven up really high, my food will cook faster. So I will go into a big deficit of 1,600 calories. Problem with that is that will work. For sure it will work if you're in a deficit. It will work for 2 to 4 weeks, and then you need to change a variable. Why? Because the body is a very, very clever mechanism. The body will really adapt to whatever situation and environment it puts it in so it can survive. So I put you in the Arctic, your body will find ways of just fucking, obviously you freeze to death if you stood there naked, but like you'll find ways to survive in most environments. In hot conditions, cold conditions, less food, more food, high output, like high taxing job, your body will adapt to realistically whatever you put it on. So after 2 to 4 weeks of being on such low calories, your body will adapt to this and it'll be like, yeah, cool, right, I've learned how to survive on such low food. I've burnt X amount of body fat here. Now we've just got this left to get off. But the problem is your body now wants to keep hold of this because you put it into a state of survival. So what is the answer? The only other answer is to go lower. Is to go to 1,400 calories. Or we start to add in cardio. Let's say we go 30 minutes cardio. So now you're going through and you're tricking the body again. The problem is, try building muscle or improving in the gym on 1,400 calories. Very, very hard to do. For 1 week, fine. Yeah, you'll be all right. You won't fucking die. For 2 weeks, maybe. For any time after that, you're just going to feel like utter garbage. So your performance in the gym is going to go down. Therefore, you're going to lose whatever muscle you actually had. And you're just in pure starvation, fat loss mode. Which is, if you want to just be a runner and you just want to get really, really low, fair enough, but most of you don't. Most of you want to get results like this, where you actually look a bit bigger at the end, bigger and leaner. That's what most of you want. So a lot of you have just kept pulling at what little room you have, forcing the body into a space of survival. Now it just doesn't want to give up the body fat because it doesn't know when it's going to get calories to survive. So you end up in this situation where you've still got body fat, you're eating low calories, you've got low muscle, you look like garbage, you feel like garbage, and it's just utter chaos. It's a really bad position to be in. Like at no point, you don't win in any of these realms. Another way people will do this is they will only eat 1,600 calories worth of nutrients, but they will eat another. Let's be slightly conservative, but probably more on the lower side. They'll eat 800 calories of just pure garbage. 800 calories of just like seed oil, sugary, chocolatey, crisp pizza, whatever the fuck. Just they'll eat garbage on top of their nutrients. So because the body's not getting fed nutrients, which is what it needs to survive and thrive, you're just feeding it with utter garbage. Then from there, it's not really, it doesn't, like, these are all dead calories. They're not doing anything for your body. They're just causing high as fuck inflammation. and then accrued in body fat very, very easily. So you're on a low nutrient dense diet, which is the same as being on very low calorie diet, realistically. So this is how you got it to that point. And how is it so easy to get like this? Because the modern day is set up that most foods, if you go into a supermarket, look at everything that's bright, it's more than likely man-made and it's in a packet. Now, anything that is safe to eat is anything that is a single ingredient, a real food. So you're talking meat, your fruit, your veggies, your potatoes, which is almost a bit like a vegetable anyway. They're good to eat. Anything else that's been man-made, realistically speaking, is not going to be that good for you. But they're very easy to consume and they taste very, very nice. So what happens there? You just consume more and more and more. And before you know it, you've just put on too much weight. You panic and think, shit, I need to get this weight off really fast. So you take this approach. This approach works for a little bit until it doesn't. And then you're stuck in this weird place in between. It's just a nasty place to be in. Now, what is the problem with this? Because we've spoke about how you realistically got there. What's the problem with this? The problem with this is you can't drop body fat when you've put your body into this position. You've got no longevity in a dieting phase where most of you need a minimum of 12 weeks, more than likely close to 16 to 20 weeks to get to the physique you actually wanted. Well, you've got no longevity in going from 1,600 calories across, what could be for some of you a 6-month period. So realistically, that you've got no tools to play with. So where do you go from there? You literally have nowhere other than lower to go, which makes you feel worse, which means you lose muscle, which means your overall need for calories goes down anyway. So it's just like a really bad position. You can't make progress from this. So you've got to cut this out. The problem with this is as well, you're going to lose muscle. Any muscle you had, you're going to lose it. The whole point of this was to build muscle and drop body fat to improve your body composition so you look better and more confident. You will not feel that much confident if you lose 10 kilos of body fat, but you're still soft and you've got no muscle. You won't feel that good about yourself. You'll still be searching for the answers and the problems to be fixed. Nothing will have really changed. You're just a smaller version of what you used to be. And it's, again, this is not a solution. So then you end up resenting the gym, you end up resenting physique transformation, you end up resenting dieting. You think you know it, you think you know what you should be doing. In reality, you don't, because that's what the results speak for themselves. So we understand the problem. We can't ultimately get to the goal we want to. We understood how we got there. Now I'm going to give you some advice that you don't want to hear, which also ties in with how we actually fixed it. The advice you don't want to hear is you actually need to be eating more food. If you are in this situation right now, your hard action step is you need to be eating more food. And this is what we did for this guy. So let's get into the actual tactics of this video. Let's say you come to me, you are in this situation, you've been eating 1,600 calories, you're doing a high amount of cardio, you feel like you're losing muscle and you're not really progressing in the gym and you're still a little bit soft. What would I do for you? So the very first thing we are going to do is for a period, and this is not what you are not going to want to hear this because it's going to sound counterintuitive. For a period of anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks, realistically, it's going to need to be a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. You are going to need to sit just below maintenance. So let's say if your maintenance is 2.5, you're going to sit maybe at 2.3, and that's calories per day. 2,300 calories a day. That's what you're going to need to sit at. Why? Well, because we actually need your body to consume a good amount of calories and to understand that it's not absolutely starving. Now, there's two things we need to think of here. What do we need to eat inside that 2,300 calorie meal plan? Well, the first thing we need to do is we'll set your protein target, which is going to be lean mass times 2.4. That's going to give you your lean mass. A lot of you don't need as much protein as you think you do. You are overeating protein to compensate, thinking it's what you need, and you don't. So let's say for easy numbers, you need 150 grams of protein. We're going to set fats 20% of that target. So fats times 20%. Let's say for easy numbers, that's going to put you at 55 grams of fat. And the rest we're going to fill with carbs, which, again, I'm just coughing these numbers. But let's see, it's 300 grams of carbs. That's the macros we're going to set you up with. Now, inside this, we need to get some nutrients back into your body. So inside the carbs, you're going to need two things. You are going to need fibrous carbs. And you may also need, to be honest, all your carbs, which inside my diet would all be predominantly fibrous carbs anyway. So we're talking things like for breakfast, you've got oats and you've got berries. For meal 2, you've got greens, as in vegetables, and you've got potatoes, sweet or white. For pre-gym, you've got either fruit or oats or both. For evening meal, you've got this again. For your last meal, you've got some more fruit in there with maybe some yogurt as well. So you're constantly feeding the body fiber. Fiber carries nutrients. Fiber will also keep you feeling fuller for longer, which you will feel very full if you've been eating this, and we put you up to this, which is near your maintenance, and we fill your diet full of nutrient-dense foods. Now, inside your protein and your fats, we're going to use things like eggs, like a good quality lean sources of protein, like animal products, and we may have some yogurts in there as well. And that's where the majority of your protein and fats are going to come from. You may also put in there maybe a bit of a good quality dark chocolate in there as well. Now again, this sounded counterintuitive. I'm going to get you to eat more, but why is that? Because we want to train the body to need calories. So we need your body to realize that it needs calories, because now at this point, it's not in survival mode. But also, now you have calories in, what's that going to give you on the other end? It's going to equal energy. Now, if you've got energy, what can you do with that energy in the context of body recomp? You can train in the gym and apply progressive overload. So this means you've put your body in a position where A, you can train effectively, and you can go in there with good energy, finish your workouts, not feel like garbage, but you can also push your improvement up of what you're actually lifting. So your ability to gain some muscle is there. So you got the opportunity to get muscle. You've also got, because energy is going in, chance for cardio. So now we're burning calories 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, and we're able to burn, 200 to 300 calories. Tick. So now we're building muscle, we're getting fitter, and we're burning through these calories. In a gym session, you might burn 300. In a 20-minute cardio session, you might burn 200. 30 minutes, you might burn 300. And we also have, and this is easy, you're also going to be able to do your steps. Pretty comfortable, not a problem. So now, what have we done here? We've put calories in, and what do we get out? We get progressive overload, CV health, and more steps. So now you have burnt through all of the calories, because 10K steps, let's say for argument's sake, for me personally, I'll burn about 50 calories per 1,000 steps. So for me, I'm looking at like 500 calories there. So overall, I'll have done, let's say I'm on 20 minutes of cardio daily. So 200 plus 500, 700, I've burnt 1,000 calories. 1K calories for the fact that I've had more food in anyway. So now we've got you eating 2,300. You're actually going to end up burning a little bit more than what you first thought. But what are we doing here? We're training your body to eat and to burn. To eat and to burn calories. So now your body has got used to, over the course of a 6-week period, eating 2,300 calories. In the beginning, going from where you are here, will you see a little bit of a weight increase? Yes. What's that going to do for your psychology? Probably fucking kill most of you. So so listen to this. You're going to increase your weight. Why though? Well, because if you're eating more food and specifically more carbs, which are stored in the muscle as glycogen with water, will mean your scale weight goes up. This is obvious. But you'll also look fuller and better, and you'll be able to train better. So anticipate an increase of 1 kilo or 2, maybe. But then you'll find your body will start to level out. Your body will find an equilibrium. It does, as I said, with anything you do to it. If you put it on low calorie, high cardio, it'll find a baseline and it'll level out at that. If you do the same with this, it will also find a baseline and level out in terms of a scale weight perspective. So now you understand you are going to increase a little bit of scale weight. It's okay. This is only a period of 4 to 6 weeks. But this is going to allow you to train better, to burn through calories that you are using, and create a demand for that much amount of food now. Plus, what's it also going to do for your mental space? Well, because you're eating more food, more than likely cortisol is going to be lower because you've had more carbs. More than likely, you're going to be sleeping better. You've been training harder and pushing more output. Therefore, you're going to be tired at the end of the day. Therefore, you're going to be sleeping better anyway. Sleep equals recovery and growth from sessions equals productive training phases. So you're going to be sleeping better. So you're going to be feeling better. You're not in a deficit, but you are tracking and monitoring food and output and steps. So naturally, you are going to drop a lot of mental fatigue that comes with running really hot at such low food and such high output. So you're going to feel fresher. So your overall appetite for the whole process is going to increase. Your want and desire for training for this process is going to feel a lot better. Now, not to say like you're going to be feeling a lot better as well, because you're just getting a lot more nutrients into your body than what you weren't getting before. So now we run this period of 4 to 6 weeks, from 1 to pretty much 6 weeks. And what we get from this is we get more muscle, more muscle, fitter cardio, body's need and demand to eat more calories because it's going to burn them. You feel better, you sleep better, you prime better. Now what are you? Now you're going to be hungry to go into a diet and phase. Now you're going to be like, yes, I'm ready. Let's get to work. Let's get after it. And the beautiful thing about doing this is your body is now going to be more responsive to dieting. A lot of you are not dropping because you're not responsive to dieting. If you were, you would already be dropping. You would need to watch this video. But the main problem with what you've done is you're not responsive to dieting. That's your issue. Now you will be. So now when we take from your 2,300 calories and we just drop it by 200, you will see a drop off on the scale. Scale weight will go down, which means you will see progress. Now, the next time we do this, don't even have to take from food. You're on 20 minutes of cardio, let's go to 30 minutes of cardio. Again, you'll see another drop off and another change. Next time we start to slow down again, what do? We'll go 40 minutes of cardio. And look what we've done here. We've managed to keep you eating a good amount of food. In fact, you know what? To be fair, I would say do this first. I'd go week 1 of needing to make a change, do this. Week 2 of needing to make a change, do this. Now, 40 minutes of cardio is a good amount of cardio. I appreciate that. So then your next change is drop 200 calories. Because we work so hard to get your food up there for you to use, burn, and need that much amount of food. So now when we start to increase the deficit size, either with cardio or with calories, you're going to see responses, you're going to see drop off, you're going to see progress. Now we can start to pull up food. And now we've got loads of headway until we actually get you back to what you were eating before. And now we're going to see drop-offs, we're going to see progress. And that's how you get to the goal. So in this situation for our Grill Up 2 member, Frank, what we did was ran him at this for a good 6 weeks. I actually, where possible, actually increased his calories. And all we focused on was his gym performance and getting strong as an absolute ox. Then when we went into dieting phase, we then started to drop body fat. Now, don't get me wrong. Did we have to take him to low calorie in the end to get this last little bit of body fat off? Yes. But was it forever? No. It was just what was needed to get that last little bit of body fat off. And fair play to him. He came to me at a point where he was a little bit soft, a little bit smaller, but he'd also dropped a lot of weight himself. He used to be very big, dropped a lot of weight himself, but couldn't get any leaner because metabolism was shot to bits because he'd done so much dieting in the past. So then we fixed him with this solution and got this level of a result. This is what happens when you follow this advice. It sounds counterintuitive, eat more, but in reality, you know why it's good now because of all the points I've mentioned in this video. So hopefully you found this useful. Apply this if your metabolism is shot to bits. If you want me to do this for you, there'll be a link in the description. Come and join us inside the Grill Up 2. We turn up daily, so, I'll see you tomorrow.